Could not get it to do what I wanted it to do. Hang fire. Things, sounds coming out of the PC. So I figured, you know what? While it's taken about an hour to reboot, because it was just sitting on the Acer BIOS screen, I'm like, can you hurry the fuck up? I was like, you know what? I'll just go to the pharmacy, and I've been having the issues with my pharmacy for months. They keep changing the opening time, so you never know when you're supposed to show up, because if you turn up, they might just not be open, and then you've walked to the pharmacy for no reason, and then you kind of go back, because when they are open, you're working, and it's so frustrating, and then you get there, and they don't have your medication, even though you ordered it a week ago, and they're like, oh, we don't have that prescription, and I'm like, how can we not have it? Anyway, so I was like, you know what, I'll just go to a pharmacy and see what happens. And lo and behold, they actually had my medication sitting there waiting for me, so that was good. And then I came back, and now the computer was working, and now we can play Sherlock, so let's get into it. Sound on? Think so, just nothing happening. Right, so the story was, I'm absolutely boiling now because I sort of ran to the pharmacy because when I went out the door it started teeming down, so I kind of ran. So I'm super sweaty and probably dead, like, glossy, but never mind. Right, so the story is, we were supposed to be going to have dinner with Wiggans and his pals, but then his brother Leighton got arrested for a double murder, and we need to go and look at the crime scene, and talk to the witnesses, and then go to Scotland Yard and talk to Leighton and his belongings. Talk to his belongings, look at his belongings. That's not what I meant. I just wanted to talk to Toby. Hey, Tobster.
Hello, Toby. All you need now is a shawl and a mock cap, and you could be Mrs. Hudson's younger sister.
I love him. Right. So we're going to go to the crime scene first. Otherwise we won't know what to ask Leighton about when we go to Scotland Yard. I'm so bloody warm. It's the thing, it's like proper tropical weather, so like it's pouring with rain, but it's not cold. So like I went out without a jacket, I went out just in a hoodie, because I'm like, it's too hot to wear a jacket even though it's pouring with rain. So I just come home super sweaty. It is, that's a thing, isn't it? If you're on antidepressants. If you're on antidepressants, it makes you sweat more. And I am, so I blame that. I want that to be the reason, and it's not just that I'm a sweaty person. Not that there's anything wrong with that, you can't help it, but I'm gonna blame my tablets. Because then I like to think that one day if I ever get off the antidepressants, I'll stop sweating so bloody much. Anyway, right. Dysentery at St. Adolphus Orphanage. Fortify yourself. I'm liking his little lamp. What's we got over here? Is your mind open to communication with the Denzians of the spirit world? Public meeting will be held on Thursday evening, 20 Instant Dread Scott case. C.L. Redmond and Robert Purvis. What? The circus. That's nice. What's Watson got to say?
And poor little Wiggins needs our help.
Oh, we brought our carriage. That's quite good, because then maybe we can, use the archives here, right? Oh. Okay. So we don't want to walk too far that way then. Half Moon Street, Great Ale Street. I love the old Victorian streets in London. I really do. Like, most of them don't exist anymore, but I went on a Jack the Ripper walking tour, and it takes you through, like, some of the, like, older style streets to show you, like, what London would have looked like when Jack the Ripper was around. And they just look so cool. But it also takes you to some super modern buildings. Like, this is where he murdered blah. It very much wouldn't have looked like this back then, and it's actually really hard to imagine, because even though you're standing there and you're like, this is where it happened, it's just so hard to imagine what it would have looked like in Victorian times when you're staring at like a glass-covered office building. Locked. Wonderful. Where the fuck are we going then? Where's this crime scene? Why is it so dark? Well, I don't mean why is it so dark, it's Victorian times, but don't they have gas lamps in the streets? Why is it so fucking dark? No wonder Jack the Ripper managed to murder people if it was this dark all the time. You wouldn't be able to see them.
Please, gentlemen, leave the scene now. Oh, Mr. Holmes, is that you?
Good evening.
You can't tell because it's so dark.
Constable Marrow. I was here with Inspector Aberline during
Aberline!
Mr. Holmes, back in '88. But then this is nothing like that case. With this one, we've got the murderer, the weapon, and the statements.
I feel like you probably don't, otherwise I wouldn't be here.
Of course, Marrow. But you know that appearances can sometimes be deceiving.
I'm planning to. I'm gonna get, Sherlock Holmes versus Jack the Ripper. I can get it for the Xbox 360.
The two men here, both shot. The stab fellow was Brian Vercotti, a well-known ruffian. The other, Kenneth Butler, a jeweller by trade.
You spoke of statements. You have witnesses?
Well, I was there, so I gave my own statement. And then there were two other witnesses who said they saw the killer Chapman. Mr. Turner, a gentleman who lives in that flat over there. And Polly Powell, a flower seller, who was over at the far side of the street.
So, Constable Marrow, I should be delighted to hear your testimony.
I was standing at the north side of Half Moon Street. That was the side that you came from.
But you would have been unable to observe this part of the street, where we are standing now.
That is correct. But I saw the two victims slowly enter Half Moon Street, and then shortly after, the fireworks started. A few minutes after that, the fellow Chapman rushed towards me and ran into Half Moon Street.
Please continue.
I didn't pay attention, but suddenly I heard a woman's cries and police whistles on the other side of Half Moon Street. I rushed over there and I saw the two dead bodies on the ground. When I reached Whitechapel Street, I saw Leighton Chapman. He'd been caught by two police constables.
Crikey. How much time did I spend talking to this guy?
I didn't hear any shots. The fireworks were all over the sky. They were so loud I couldn't hear anything
Oh, there was
else.
actual fireworks. I thought he meant the gunfire. I thought he was like calling the gunfire fireworks. That was the male. But no, he means actual fireworks.
Fireworks in honour of, Constable.
Well, today's Queen Victoria's birthday, Mr. Holmes.
Yes, I appear to have lost track of the days. It is May now, of course. Constable Marrow, what else caught your attention while you were running through Half Moon Street?
I know a lot about
I saw nothing but
kings and
rats,
queens of Britain.
and I took
I'm
the
really
time
into
to
the
write
history of our
every
monarchy,
thought
but I
of
couldn't
my
tell you what day Queen Victoria's birthday was. I really couldn't.
Did you happen to look up at Mr. Turner's window when you were on Half Moon Street at that time?
Yes, I saw that the window was open, but no one was there. It was dark in the room.
Constable, your statements have been of great value to me.
Right. Did we get any evidence out of that? Absolutely none. Not anything at all, and we haven't even got anybody... I don't even think we've got any characters from this, do we? Only 3 people to meet, though. Not a lot. But, yeah, no, we talked to him for ages and got absolutely no evidence, apparently. That's cool.
The bullet struck his head. This man didn't stand a chance.
Yep, you don't want that. That's not good. A key.
This is an ordinary key. I wonder what kind of door it opens.
Sherlock just breaking into people's houses. Just dead man's houses. Like, this guy might, like, have a wife or something. He just, like, walks into our house. It's like, oh, sorry, I took a key off your dead husband. Piece of wood.
A piece of wood that has stuck in the cobblestones. Let us take a closer look. This shard of wood is quite new.
Okay. And then this guy. Brian Vercotti.
He tried to stop the bleeding with his hand. Death was not instant.
So he got shot in the stomach rather than the head.
The bullet penetrated his stomach, a dreadful wound.
I think getting shot in the head is a more dreadful wound, but then I suppose you would die instantly, whereas this you would be in pain, so maybe not.
Brian Vercotis.
Yeah, yeah, I suppose.
What a terrible way to die.
Dumb ways to die. So many
A tattoo
dumb ways
from
to
Westgate
die.
Prison.
Ooh.
Vercotis must have done some time there. A
Pole?
fairly long pole with a forked end.
Ah, right there. Okay, so we're gonna use that later. I love his little lantern. Right, well, we're gonna want to talk to some witnesses. This guy here.
Good evening, Mr. Turner.
I heard Constable Varro reply to you as Mr. Holmes. Are you that detective gentleman? I've heard of you. And well, I know things about this evening.
Excellent. Might we hear your story? Could you tell us everything that you may have seen or heard?
I was already in bed when the fireworks started. A few moments after, I clearly heard 2 gunshots from outside.
Please continue.
I quickly got up and I grabbed the lamp from my nightstand and I rushed towards the window. I looked down and I saw 2 bodies. And there was a man with a gun who was standing nearby.
Where exactly?
Well, near this body.
Did he notice you?
I don't think so. He rushed towards Whitechapel Street without looking around.
Mr. Turner, did you see anyone else in the street?
No, I saw no one but that man, the murderer, the fellow they caught.
Were the 2 shots you heard consecutive?
Yes, there was a very short pause between them, and they sounded different somehow. It seemed to me that the second shot was louder than the first.
That is an interesting
Second shot. Same as the first time. Henry VIII.
Mr. Turner, what were your actions after you stepped up to the window?
I was afraid
I was
that
going,
the
oh
man with
shit.
the gun would return, so I stayed close to the window till I saw the policeman coming in the Half Moon from Whitechapel. Then I walked out to tell them everything I saw.
I don't know if Half Moon is a real, like, was a real street or whatever, but London used to have such cool street names, and then they, like, changed them all to, like, boring things and naming them after, like, slave traders and stuff. Like, they used to have, like, the names of the roads from, like, the Jack the Ripper case aren't the names of the roads anymore, and it's like, why? Half Moon Street. I mean, Half Moon Street might still exist, I don't bloody know. But I bet it doesn't. I bet you anything it doesn't. War veteran. Oh. Missing buttons. Poor life. Maybe the button just pinged off. Maybe he's not good at sewing. Sherlock's so judgy,
You've helped us a
honestly.
great deal, Mr. Turner.
Right, what did we get from that? So, it's got a lamp, we found some wood, and a key. And we've got a profile for Mr. Turner. Ryan Turner is around 60 years of age. He's a veteran of the Crimean War, a fact which he's very proud. His leg was most likely injured during the war, and he's Turner lives a poor life. Yeah, but is it a real limp or is it psychosomatic? I've seen Sherlock. There's Wiggans hanging about. So, right, we've got 2 victims between Great Alley. Great Alley, mighty is he, Alibaba. Remained near his window until late and was caught by the police. He paid attention to Mr. Turner's window, was running past. He did not observe anyone next to the window, it was dark there. Ooh, okay, so Turner says he was at the window, but that thing says that he wasn't. Stated he remained at the window of his flat until the police arrived. However, this is in conflict with Marrow's statement, as the constable did not see anyone at the window. Okay, cool. Cool beans. I suppose Thornton. Right, where am I now? Oh right, this is Flower Lady. Honestly, like, I love like, these streets. This is Whitechapel High Street. Like, the brickwork. Oh, The tall buildings, I mean, I know they were shit to live in. I know they were, you know, cramped and there wasn't, you know, good hygiene and stuff. But they just look so good. Can I go down here? Nah, I didn't think so. I just wondered if I could talk to these people. Gone Franklin Limited, wholesale clothing. Polly Powell.
Mrs. Powell?
What do you want?
My name is Sherlock.
God, you're so rude.
I'm assisting the police with their investigation of the crime.
Trying to find out who killed two men. You're like, what do you want?
I've already gave my testimony, but very well.
It'll take you 5 minutes.
Could you tell us everything that you may have seen or heard?
Yes. I was selling my flowers as usual, and then the fireworks began, in honour of Queen Victoria. I enjoyed those. But then, all of a sudden, a young lad ran out of Half Moon Street and stopped just by me. He had a gun in his hand. He was like a ghost, and all covered in blood.
Where were these games made? Because the English accents in it are so bad.
From the fireworks.
And then?
I screamed as loud as I could. I knew that a policeman should be on duty in the vicinity. He had no time to escape. 2 constables got him. Then another.
I mean, she kind of sounds like Sari from The Witcher, but Sari from The Witcher's voice was always a bit odd.
Murder.
Mrs. Powell, did you hear the gunshots?
I'm not sure. You know, what with the fireworks?
I think Sari is English as well, but her voice is just really odd.
Did you see anyone else leaving Half Moon Street prior to or at the time of the crime?
No, sir, I did not. Even with all the fireworks, I was very attentive, as I'm always on the lookout for customers.
As I am always on the lookout for customers.
Mrs. Powell.
She's probably like lived in England her whole life and I'm being a dick, but some of the accents in this game sound awful. Righto. So we want to talk to Turner. Yeah, we need to go and interrogate Leighton, but we also want to talk to Mr. Turner and check the view from his flat so that we can see if there's an explanation for why their statements contradict. Because to be fair, he did say it was dark, so it's quite possible he just couldn't see him because it was dark.
The crime, is that correct?
Oh, yes, Mr. Holmes. I stayed at my window until the policeman arrived to examine the dead bodies.
That is very interesting, Mr. Turner. Constable Marrow stated that he did not see anyone at the window when he was running through Half Moon Street.
Well, I think Constable Marrow and me might have been distracted by the whistles and shouts coming from Whitechapel. We could have missed each other somehow. You understand what I mean? It was a bit of a stressful moment, to tell you the truth, sir.
Allow me to form my own theories, Mr. Turner.
Like, I don't think this is particularly substantial evidence, because, like, it's quite possible he was just at an angle where he couldn't see him, or it wasn't particularly, you know, it was dark in the house and he couldn't see him, or the guy was standing back from the window in case the guy tried to shoot him. Like, if there was a shooting or some kind of crime going on outside my house, I probably would look out the window, but I would deliberately angle myself so that I couldn't be seen, so that people don't see me just standing staring out. You know what I mean? Like, whenever there's chaos on my street, I always, like, position myself so that I can see, but they can't see me. And I feel like that's probably the smart thing to do if someone's running around the streets with a gun, is maybe not stand directly at your window where they can shoot you. Anyway, that's just my theory. That's an interesting little, ornament.
This fire is dying out. It was last tended to over an hour ago. The papers are almost entirely burned. I am unable to see what's written here. These words are illegible. The papers were thrown into the fire just a short while ago.
Maybe it's just a newspaper he was using to stoke the fire. I do get the feeling that Sherlock's very untrustworthy sometimes.
The books on this shelf are in a mess. It looks as though Mr. Turner was trying to find something in a hurry here a short while ago.
Walking stick for his limp. Oh, wait.
A
Oh.
perfect match. So,
Okay, well,
Turner broke his stick.
maybe I'm wrong.
Cobblestones. He did not mention that he was so near to the victim.
Maybe I'm giving this guy too much credit.
Mr. Turner was roused from his bed by the sound of gunshots. This kitchen
A
was
knife!
quite
No! Oh my god, why does he have a knife? Sweepings. Shredded paper. Alright, okay, here.
There are pieces of shredded paper scattered over the table. This kitchen knife was used to cut the paper.
So he was trying to conceal something. Just don't know what, though.
So, that's the view Mr. Turner had when he opened the window. The dead body of Kenneth Butler. Brian Vercotti's contorted corpse. Mr. Turner had a perfect view of the crime scene. He saw the bodies clearly, and Leighton Chapman standing over them. No, it didn't happen this way.
Oh, well, fuck you. I don't know. Like, surely he approached the body, he took something, then he broke the stick, but it's telling me that's not what happened. Or is there other... Oh, wait! I didn't realise there was stuff in the... Oh my god, I'm such an idiot. I thought that those were 3 different things I was supposed to be saying, but there's not. There's stuff in the house. I'm such a twat. Right, ignore me, ignore me. Right, so he definitely got up first, and he took the stick. And then he opened the window. Then he approached the body. And then he cut papers with a knife, threw them in the fire, and placed the broken stick. Wait, no, he took something. Wait, no, okay, right. Maybe he placed the broken stick, and then he cut papers, and then he threw it in the fire? Things we lost to the flames. Things we'll never see again. Oh, that we have amassed. I'll shut up now. This is looking promising. Hey!
So Mr. Turner used a book to hide an object that he found on Kenneth Butler's body. The question is, what did he find?
See, now I'm cold, even though I was absolutely roasting earlier.
I can see prints from greasy fingers upon the cover of this book. Let us take a closer look.
Oh god, it's Moby Dick.
Well now,
The hell is
what do you
that?
find? A precious jewel concealed inside a book.
Oops, I'm trying to get my hoodie out from under me. Please ignore. That was far more chaotic than it needed to be. Right.
A bracelet with a unique ram's head design, a distinctive feature of ancient Grecian artifacts, probably of the Hellenistic era.
Okay, so now we have a ring and we can presumably ask him about it. I think that's everything for the flat.
Mr.
Walk
Turner,
into a
how would it be possible for a man of
window.
advanced years, such as yourself, to rush from his bed to the window in a matter of seconds, as you have stated?
Well, I'm able to move very quickly, despite my age. And when the situation requires it, Mr. Holmes.
But you have a limp.
I highly doubt that, Mr. Turner. I observe that you suffer a severe limp due to your injured right leg. It would have taken at least 10 seconds for you to approach the window. That means you could have easily missed something or someone in Half Moon Street during that time.
You're right, Mr. Holmes. I could have missed something. But it did seem to me that everything happened so quickly. Oh, time can pull tricks on you.
And what of everything else that you told us? Mr. Turner, it is vital that we have your complete and true statement.
Mr. Holmes, I do assure you that the other things I said were most sincere.
Mr. Turner, you were not sincere with me. Not then and not now.
But Mr. Holmes...
This, Mr. Turner, does not look like anything that a poor man might possess. It is worth more than the home that you live in.
I can explain.
No, merely correct me if I am wrong. You saw Leighton Chapman through the window, but you also noticed a glittering object on the ground, this precious jewel. You walked down and took the bracelet from the body of Kenneth Butler, and when you heard the whistles, you hurried away. That broke your walking stick. It caught fast between the cobbles. Constable Marrow was unable to see you in the window as you were climbing up the stairs on your way back to your flat. Upon returning home, you hid the precious jewel inside a book.
Mr. Holmes, please don't send me to prison. I didn't do anything bad. I'm just a poor man. When I chanced upon the bracelet, I saw it as an opportunity to make a little money.
We're just normal men. We're just innocent men.
That's all, I swear.
You made a mistake by lying to me. But you are not a criminal. I believe that. Although I must return this bracelet to its rightful owner.
Okay, so this guy probably didn't have anything to do with it. He just stole a bracelet because he's poor and wanted money. And who can blame him, really? Okay, so we want to search the archives to find out more about this bracelet. Zoom. So I think we can check them at our carriage. Is it around here? No, it's not, is it? It's the other way. Fuck. What's up, Wiggans? What's this? Why is Watson not, like, doing anything? He's just standing there. Help out! Like, God, why did I even bring you? Oh, can I not? I can't use the back? Oh, okay, well, fuck you. Right, let's go to Baker Street then, and then we'll go to Scotland Yard. Because remember when we went to the trains, when we were in freaking wherever we were, and you could go and check the archives on the back of the carriage, but apparently we're close enough to home that we can't be arsed today to bring the archives with us. Right. where do we think we would find it? Distinctive ram heads.
That is not.
No. Okay, not probably newspapers. Encyclopedias? Arts and architecture, maybe? No. No. History? Greek history?
That is not the one.
Okay, bugger off then. Medicine, botany. It's not gonna be botany, is it? Aha, here we go. Antique art. These beautiful antique jewels represent a part of the Hellenistic treasures collection. Depicted are 5 heads of mountain rams upon a bracelet, a necklace and a ring, each made of pure gold. So it's part of a set. The 5 rams of Mytilene have been missing from the museum since 1885.
Here it is.
So it was stolen.
I
So
need
it's
to
probably a good
continue
idea that he
my
didn't keep her.
research in my
Because then if they found him, then... if they found him with it, then he'd be going to jail for stealing, probably. Okay, so we want to search the archives more. So... now can I look at Greek history?
That is not.
No? Really? Okay, well, fuck you. Oh wait, 1885. It'll be in the newspapers. Hellenistic treasure stolen. A treacherous theft. The Hellenistic treasures were stolen yesterday evening while being transported by cab on their way to the British Museum, from the British Museum to the Glassfort Fine Art Exhibition. Pawnshop owner Kenneth Butler, contacted Scotland Yard that night and provided information regarding a gentleman who had attempted to sell him a collection of historical art at his pawn shop in Church Street. The police have since captured the described man, a professional thief by the name of Vincent Foley, who had been in process of escaping London via the port. He was recognised by the surviving driver of the cab that had transported the collection of Hellenistic treasures. Vincent Foley refused to confess as to where the remainder of the treasures were hidden. He was eventually imprisoned. The lost treasures are still to be found. So, Thingby, Kenneth Butler contacted them saying a guy tried to sell him the collection, but he also was in possession of the bracelet. So, the fuck's going on there?
Kenneth Butler was involved in the story of the stolen Hellenistic treasures. A visit to his pawn shop should tell me more.
Okay, so I think first I want to go to Scotland Yard because we are getting off the beaten track here. Like, we're getting deeper into what's going on with Kenneth and this stolen artifact thing. So I think we should go and talk to Leighton first and find out what he knows before we go any further.
Mr. Holmes, whatever brings you here so late at night?
I'm interested in the case of young Leighton Chapman. He was arrested earlier this evening and accused of a double murder.
I beg your pardon? That case is quite clear to the police. Or are there any new facts that we don't know about?
Who knows, Inspector?
Look, you are free to investigate, of course, Mr. Holmes. Chapman was arrested with a revolver in his possession, which you can find in the evidence room. The suspect himself is in custody.
Did you find anything else on his person?
A few personal belongings. Nothing particular, Mr. Holmes.
Thank you,
Next.
Lestrade.
Stuff.
I'm always wondering what's on your mind, Holmes.
It's a bit gay, innit? I don't get this. Like, why has he got a big board with noses on it? Like, what is that in reference to? I feel like they've done that deliberately, but I don't know why. Like, I don't know what it means.
So this is the gun that Leighton was holding when he was caught by the police. It is a Webley revolver, a reliable weapon. It seems as though the shells were not removed from the cylinder. Two out of the 6 shells have been fired. There were 2 shots.
Well, that's not looking good for him, is it?
These cigarettes are filled with cheap tobacco. Nothing interesting. A cheap watch, bought with his own money, no doubt.
All pocket watches are good pocket watches. Oh, I didn't get to examine his apple. Right, Leighton Chapman had nothing of value in his possession, was caught by the police. Hellenistic treasures were stolen. Leighton fired 2 cartridges. Oh, but then someone said that the shots were different. So, does that mean they came from a different gun? Simultaneous shots. Turner could hear the contrast between 2 fired shots, as in fact 3 shots were made. At first a single shot was fired, then 2 guns fired simultaneously directly afterwards. Or, Turner could hear the contrast 2 different fire shots that they were made from different points in Half Moon Street. Well, this one lets me investigate, so obviously we're going to pick that one. Because that means we get to do something, whereas the other one doesn't, so... He's the only person who was seen entering Half Moon Street after they were killed. He was standing over the bodies and escaping the crime scene shortly afterwards. Compelling evidence. The witness testimonies and the crime weapon clearly point to one possible culprit, Leighton Chapman. But we're not going to accuse him because there's no way he did it, because that would just be way too easy. Anything else? I don't think so. Okay. Alright, let's go talk to Leighton. Find out what he was doing around here while all this was going on. Oh, he's not in here. Alright, you.
Escort this suspect for interrogation. Good evening, Mr. Chapman.
Who are you? I've got nothing to say. It's all a mistake.
Calm down, Leighton. I have come here to help you. To find out if you truly are innocent, as your younger brother Wiggans has told me.
My brother? You know him? Then that means you're...
Sherlock Holmes.
Oh, blimey.
And I'm still wanting that dinner.
Mr. Holmes, I'll tell you everything.
Let's investigate him first. He's got a big ass cut in his face that I want to know more about. Big black eye as well. Recent beating, resisted arrest, hot-headed. Fancy scarf, downtown fashion, cushy job, office clerk. If he's got a cushy job, why does his brother live in the street? Oh, he's got the same tattoo as that guy.
Good. Tell me your account of what happened.
I left my work and I hurried up to see the fireworks in Whitechapel. I was late, so I decided to cut through Half Moon Street. I saw the first fireworks light up in the sky. I bumped into a constable on a corner before entering Half Moon. Then suddenly, what with all the firework flare, I saw 2 men. They were both lying flat in the middle of the street. I stopped where I was. I thought about turning back to the police, but as I was thinking of that, I saw a third person. He was leaning over the body that was furthest from me. The second I saw him, he raised his head and he stared at me. In a flash, I saw his gun, but he made a dash for it instead and he escaped through Whitechapel Street.
So you might still have had time to return to the constable.
I panicked. I didn't know what to do. Anyway, I approached the bodies just to see if they were still alive. I saw that one had blood pumping out of his stomach. He was dying. It was horrible. The second one was already dead. He had a hole in his head. He was holding a gun in his hand, though. I took it, and then I followed the third man.
Interesting. Pray, continue.
I turned a corner, and I saw the man standing in the middle of the street. He seemed to be in some sort of panic. And then, Mr. Holmes, something strange happened. I told the police and they laughed at what I said, but I swear to you, my words are true. I started running towards him. But then I was blinded by a flash. It was so bright that I hardly saw anything for a good dozen seconds. But I kept running forward. As I arrived in Whitechapel, I heard a woman screaming. And then I was caught by the police. But there wasn't a trace of that man. Of course, then they found a gun and all that blood. I couldn't see the murderer escaping and all that mess. Perhaps I was still half-blinded at that moment.
A thrilling account, my young man. Leighton, are you able to describe the person whom you saw standing in Half Moon Street?
Well, I wasn't able to see his face at all. It was too dark, and he was too far away. I could see his silhouette.
And what about that?
Nothing so special. He was wearing a jacket. He was quite average in size and his weight.
I see. Was there anything else that struck you at the time?
No. But perhaps... It's strange, but I can't remember the sound of his footsteps as he was running away. Perhaps it was because of the fireworks or the surprise of me seeing him.
Are you saying that he disappeared in a flash of light?
Leighton, I confess I am puzzled.
Like he
Why
teleported?
should a young lad like you take a gun from the hands of a dead man and set off in pursuit of a probable killer?
I know.
Bant.
I keep wondering that, but at the time it was like a reflex. A criminal ought to be arrested, and he was armed.
You were willing to risk your life. That was a little foolish, unless you wanted...
I'm great, I'm yawning now. Wonderful.
No, Mr. Holmes. I was just being brave and stupid.
Oh shit.
I'm sure that you were, but I believe that you may have recognized one of the victims, Brian Vercotti. You knew that gentleman well, did you not?
However could you know that?
You have a typical tattoo of the Westgate Brotherhood upon your hand. I observed exactly the same mark upon Mr. Vercotti. You came to know him from your sharing a past prison sentence. Am I correct, Mr. Chapman?
God. You're right, Mr. Holmes.
Would you tell me a little about Brian Vercotti?
We were convicted for a robbery. Once in prison, both of us joined one of these fraternities. During that year, we tried to help each other out, you know?
You were quite young then, I believe.
Yes, Mr. Holmes, we were. We'd only stolen a pound of meat.
I stole a loaf of bread.
When I saw what my little brother had become, I decided to work towards living an honest life.
And Vercotti?
He had a hard time. His sister had died in a Whitechapel dispensary while he was in prison. He had no family anymore. Our paths split. He fell back into crime.
So you lost him?
Yes. And for around 2 years, I heard no news of him at all.
Sorry. My goodness.
We shall see.
I went to bed quite late last night. I shouldn't have. Okay, right. Leighton Chapman is in his 20s and is Wiggans' older brother. And you see the thing, like, I thought Wiggans was his last name, but does that mean his name is Wiggans Chapman? Because that's a terrible name. Growing up in the streets and being a hot-headed lad, he committed a crime for which he served time in Westgate Prison. He's currently detached from his past street life and is probably working somewhere as an office clerk. So he tried to turn his life around, and the other guy had a hard time because his sister died and stuff, so... right. So, we want to find a use for the key. And we need to reenact the, crossfire and investigate the bracelet. What else have we got in here? So... Set off in pursuit of the man, but he's blinded by a flash of bright light. No? Okay. There we go. Imaginary man. The person whom Leighton Chapman describes in his statements is a figment of his own imagination created to vindicate himself. I don't think so. I don't think so, but okay. Right, hold on. Where do we... I want to go, I think, back to the street. Is that what we want to do? Is that... Examine dead bodies before marina? Yeah, I want to go back to the street and do that, and then we'll go pawn shop.
What's up with you, lad? What are you waiting for?
I'm waiting for my brother to be released.
Your brother?
The one that you caught, beat up and imprisoned.
Ah, the murderer.
He ain't killed no one, copper.
Watch your mouth, lad, else you'll be joining that worthless brother of yours.
The drama. Right. One of the victims possibly fired his gun twice. Find out who it might have been. I don't know, you?
I am unable to see any higher. I need to find something to
That
lift
pole.
my lamp. This should be useful.
Okay, so.
Nothing interesting here.
So now we can go see this way.
This is most
Aha.
definitely a bullet hole. The brick cracks are fresh. Watson, there was a third shot fired in this street.
So what does that tell us? Proves the event of a third shot. But there was only 2 bullets fired from Leighton's gun. Okay, that's apparently not it. Thought that was relevant, but never mind. Shit, I didn't read that. Leighton Chapman's statement regarding the jacketed man who disappeared at Half Moon Street now seems reasonable, as the 3 shots at the crime scene prove the presence of a second gun that is now missing. Right, so we want to talk to Constable Marrow and find out how it would been possible to miss someone hiding in the shadows of Half Moon Street at the time of the crime. Okie doke.
Constable Marrow, I would value your assistance in this investigation.
It would be my pleasure, Mr. Holmes.
I would like to make sure that there are no places in Half Moon Street.
I mean,
where
it
a
was
man
so
could hide
dark.
while you were running through it with your lamp.
All right, Mr. Holmes, what should I do?
Take your lamp and start walking.
Run! Oh my god, we're playing hide and seek with the
And try to find
constable. Are you joking?
Understood.
Are you joking? What is this? What is this? Am I playing? Oh, I'm playing as the guy.
I shouldn't look for Mr. Holmes here. He's hiding in Half Moon Street.
This is daft. This is daft. Holmes is gonna be fucking like hanging from the wall or something. He's gonna be like Spider-Man in it halfway up the wall. Hi!
See you very well, Mr. Holmes.
All right, Constable. Let's
Oh my
try
god,
again.
we're playing hide and
I'll
seek
find
with
another
Sherlock
close.
Holmes. This is ridiculous. This is what is this? To be fair though, if I'd went straight round like that, like see if he'd ran in, right, and he'd ran round like that, you wouldn't have been able to see him if he'd been hiding in there. Like I only saw him because I came right up, but like naturally if he came in the street and was running to see where the dead bodies were, you would completely miss a guy standing in there.
Here you are, Mr. Holmes.
All right, Constable. Let's try again.
And I missed him too when I came in.
Place to hide.
And he could have run out behind, like, if I'd run in like this, right? If Constable Marrow ran in like that and that guy was hiding right there, all he would have to do is wait until the guy ran past and then get up and just fucked off back down there. So, this seems perfectly plausible. Okay, it's bright around here, so this doesn't seem... Wait, what? Sherlock!
Mr. Holmes, it wasn't difficult to find you at all.
It is obvious now. No one could escape Constable Marrow's...
They definitely could, though.
Street.
They 100% could have done that. Fuck's sake. No one could hide... Yes, they could have! A single run through this narrow street with a lamp would reveal its every... No, it wouldn't! Oh, that's annoying. That's really annoying. That's not true at all. Anyway, right, up the walls. If we can assume that... Oh, that's what I said. Someone was scaling the walls. If we can assume that there was one more person Half Moon Street at the time of the crime and there was no way forward or back for his escape, only up, let us recreate the action, recreate the fireworks sky by light and attempt to climb the wall. What in the name of God is going on? Right, let's go to the pawn shop. Right, no, that's really annoying, because, like, I pretty much proved while playing that one single run through with the lantern does not light every corner of that street. But yeah, like I said, Sherlock's gonna end up scaling the walls. Okay, not you. Where's the pawn shop? No, this one? No. Butler's pawn shop, here we go. Oh, is this the key? Yeah.
Mr. Butler's key matches the lock perfectly.
Right, let's go and snip about in here.
These two...
Ah, we've got the climbing apartment.
I need
Good.
to climb the wall.
If we come here earlier, would you just pick those up and went, this might be useful later, with like no reason to do so? Actually, probably would have just said object of interest, wouldn't it?
This
And
is
the
exactly
flare.
what we need in order to imitate the flash of the fireworks.
Is there anything else we need in here? No? Oh, counter. Aha! Oh, that's the other neck, the other piece of the thing, the
This necklace
jewellery.
belongs to the 5 rams of...
And there's a letter in there too.
Interesting. That means that Kenneth Butler owned a part of this collection all this time, 10 years after the theft. What
a scammer. Hello, Kenneth. I remember you once told me about 3 pieces of golden jewellery with ram heads from ancient Greece. You still got them, right? Well, good news for you. I found a man loaded with money who's crazy about those jewels. He's ready to fork out a small fortune. I can arrange a meeting with this money bag for you, but I want you to cut me in on the deal. I'll be waiting for you at the crossing of Great Alley and Half Moon Street on Sunday evening before the fireworks. Brian Vercotti. Ooh, so it was a deal to try and like sell the stolen jewels. The drama.
It looks as though Mr. Butler kept a careful record of his operations.
So Brian Vercotti really didn't get his life on track after he came out of the jail then. Right, oh. I love the colouring in this. Right, so we want to go back to Half Moon Street. And send Sherlock up the wall like Spider-Man. Look out, here comes the spider, Holmes. I genuinely thought it said Great Ale Street, and I'm really sad. I thought it was named after beer, but it was not. See, look, I'm not lighting up shit.
Why are you looking at me all the time like that?
I'm just watching you, lad. I never know what to expect from people like you.
Judgy.
People like me?
Yes, street beggars and thieves.
I ain't a thief.
Oh, no? Then where did you get whatever it is that you're gnawing on? I very much doubt that you bought it.
What ain't seen can't hardly be stolen.
Right, so what are we doing here now? How do we scale the walls?
I'll do anything to save my brother, Mr. Holmes.
Constable Marrow, Watson, I would like to perform another kind of reenactment with your help.
I'm listening, Mr. Holmes.
I want to check if Leighton's testimony can be trusted. If someone could vanish into thin air at a specific moment.
But Holmes, I don't see how.
I am going to be the mysterious gentleman whom Leighton followed. I will stand exactly where he saw him before he was blinded by the flash. Watson, you will be Leighton. When I fire the signal flare, you should start to chase me.
I understand, Holmes.
You, Constable Marrow, just play your part and do exactly as you did. Just, please, wait 5 seconds after the signal flare. I doubt that Polly Powell would have screamed any earlier.
As you say, Mr. Holmes.
Let us begin then. Catch me if you can.
Catch me if you can. Stop being weird. Right. So am I just picking areas to like look at?
This wall. Anyone trying to climb it would be easily spotted by Constable Marrow. This wall is cast in shadow. It would be difficult to see anyone scaling it.
These walls are so sheer though. So he shot a flare gun which blinded Watson and then he climbed a wall. Or blinded Leighton. What am I doing? That's R. Fuck, that was. I pressed R2 instead of L2.
I can barely see anything.
What is this? Oh, come on. I pressed the button.
Holmes? Are you there?
Oh god, then the thing's clipping out.
I should try climbing faster.
Mate, I am doing my best. Honestly.
I can barely see anything. Holmes? Are you there? Where is he? My God, a man can't just disappear like that.
Dun dun dun.
Holmes? Holmes? Where are you?
I cannot see you, Mr. Holmes. Dr. Watson, it seems that Mr. Holmes has disappeared.
Don't worry, gentlemen, I am up here, above your head.
Yep. I was joking when I said that Sherlock was going to scale the walls earlier, but no, here we are.
Although the person we are looking for did not leave any traces of such tools. Constable, is there any way to get to the top of this building?
Yes, Mr. Holmes, I can show you. The door to the building can be found from Whitechapel Street.
Gentlemen, I am on my way down.
I hope he just lets go and just falls to the ground. Okay, we're at an hour, so I think we'll pause there for now, and then we'll pick up next time where we'll go and inspect the attic. I'm also going to go and get a snack, because I am hungry, but we'll be back very soon. I'll be back momentarily, but the video will be back very soon. So thank you for watching once again. This might be the weirdest case so far, in terms of like the things we've had to do. But I'm having a good time, so I'll see you next time, and thank you for watching as always. Bye everyone!